Hello there and welcome to a brand new video. This is How Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. Now in this video, we are looking at construction of angles. And I would advise that as you are learning, you'd also be practicing as well so you're able to understand. We'll first of all look at the construction of these basic angles such as 60, 120, 90, and then 45 and what have you. Let's quickly go into it. So for our first construction, we are looking at how to construct the angle 60 degrees. How to construct the angle 60 and 120 degrees. So to construct this angle, we first of all need a straight line. So I'm going to draw my straight line here. You can use a ruler for that. So this is my straight line right over here. And at what point do I want to construct this angle? So I'll label here my point. Let's say the point A. So this here is my point A. And I want to construct the angle 60 degrees over here. So you need your compass. What you do is you take your compass and put it at the point where you want to construct your angle. All right. And then you open it to a suitable radius. Now, if you open it to a suitable radius, you now draw a semicircle. I draw a semicircle and you take away your compass. Now you make sure that the radius you use to draw this semicircle, you don't open or close it. You don't move it. You see? So I don't move it, I don't open or close it. And I use that same radius to step at one edge of the semicircle I have drawn. You see? Now, if I'm to make a mark over here, this mark over here is what we call the 60 degrees. It can be 60 and it can be 120 as well, depending on where you are counting from. You see, so I'm going to do two of that. First of all, I'm standing here, and then I'll draw that. Then I'll also come and stand over here, and I'll also draw one also over here. That is that. So with these that we have been able to draw, we have our 120 degrees and then 60 degrees. So all we need to do now is to take our ruler and then draw a straight line through it. So I'm taking my ruler at this point and I'll draw a very straight line through the point of intersection of my semicircle and these arcs. So with my ruler from point A to my point of intersection of the arc in the semicircle, I'm going to draw a line. See? Now let's draw another one also over here. So this is what I have. And I'm drawing this also over here. This we have done over here is the angle 60 degrees and 120. So if you have to put your protractor on what you have done and look at it very carefully. With my protractor on it now, you realize that this first line I drew over here, using my outer calibration, for my outer calibration, it starts from 0 here. So 0, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I have my 60 here, you see. But if I'm to measure from this side, from the left-hand side, based on my protractor, then this over here is 120, you see. The same applies over here. If I'm to measure towards my right, then I'll get to the 60. But if I'm to measure from my left, or from my right rather, then this is my 120. So this is how we construct the angle 60 and then 120 degrees. Now let's look at how we construct angle 30 and then 40 and then 15 degrees. Okay, so now when it comes to construction of 30 and then 15 degrees, your initial step is that you have already constructed angle 60 degrees. You see, we have constructed angle 60 degrees. So with this same procedure here, we have constructed it over here. You see, okay. Now that we have constructed this angle 60, this is angle 60 degrees. So we can even measure to confirm that. So as you can see, it passes through 60. Constructing 30 degrees simply has to do with you bisecting the 60 degrees. Initially, we said bisection simply means you are dividing into what? Two equal parts. And we said to bisect an angle, you have to draw an arc, get to those 2 points, and then from there you can do what? Construct or draw a line through your point of intersection. So I'll take my compass and come over here. And the first thing I do is I draw an arc. See? So this is going to be my arc. That will touch this line and then this one as well. You see? Now these two give me a point through which I can draw my arcs. You see? So and I'll take my compass again and stand at this point. And at this point, we draw an arc above. I draw one arc over here. And then with that same radius, I stand at this point as well and draw another arc and make sure it intersects what we have over here. So I'm drawing this arc over here. And with that, we have done what? We have been able to bisect an angle. You see? So we draw a straight line from this point over here to through this point of intersection. So as you can see, I have aligned my ruler from this point here through my point of intersection. You see? And I'll draw my straight line through it. If I move it, you can see what I have done. See? I have bisected the initial 60 degrees. I didn't do it deep because that is not the line we are focusing on. We are constructing this angle over here. So that was why I didn't do it deep, because that wasn't what we were focusing on. Now we want to construct. Did we measure? We didn't. So we can measure to confirm what we have drawn is really a 30-degree angle. You see, it passes exactly through the 30 degrees. You see. So now let's construct angle 15 degrees. And then it's all about bisecting the 30 as well. So at this point, you can pause the video, try doing it your own, then you come back for us to do it together. I do hope by now you have been able to do it. So let's quickly do it together. Just as we bisected 60 to get our 30, once again, we have to draw an arc. Moreover, we already have an arc over here, so there's no need drawing one again. See? So you take your compass and then stand at this point of intersection here. See? Then you draw an arc over here. Nice one. Then you use that same radius. You don't open or close your compass. Make sure the same radius you are using. You stand here again, and then you draw another arc through this point, or to intersect this one here. And that is it. That is just it. So you now align your ruler so you are able to draw your line perfectly. So I'll align my ruler, and as you can see, I have drawn a straight line here through my point of intersection from the point X. And if I'm to take away my ruler now, you would see the line drawn nicely over there. Now, if you have to measure it, you realize that it's exactly 15 degrees. So you take your protractor and then you do your measurement. As you can see, starting from the inner, I have my what? 0 here, 10 is here, and then I have my 15 over here as well. Now, it is important to note that this first angle we drew, we said it was actually 30 degrees. But if you measure it from the other way, instead of 30, it becomes 180. You see? Sorry, it becomes 150. So the same way you measure 130, the same way you measure or construct 30, that is the same way as well you are going to construct 150. You see? And then as we are seeing, this side is 15. If you are measuring from this side, if we are looking at it from this side, it is also what? if you look at my calibration here, it's also 165. 165. So let me just write this down. So this angle here, this initial one, we said is 30, right? So it is 30 degrees. But if we measure from this side, then it is actually 150 degrees, right? And also, this small angle here, we said it was what? 15 degrees. But if we measure from the other way around, then we are going to say it is what? 165. So all the way here is 165 degrees. So with this now, we've been able to measure 4 angles or construct 4 angles, the 30, the 150, the 15, and then the 165. So for this session, I think we are going to end here. And in our next session, we look at how to construct the angle 90 degrees, which is very, very common and very useful. So the 90-degree angle, the 45, the 75, the 105, and then 135, after which we now go into construction of triangles and all that. So see you in the next video and stay blessed.